Good evening, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out, right here on Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. That's right, y'all. It is part 2 of our very special 2019 NFL Thanksgiving edition of 3 and Out. And I hope you're ready, because the dinner was delicious, but the dessert should be just as good. Here we go, y'all. Today, we had a very special show on Tuesday night. It was a blast. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We had, the battle of the ages, if you will, man. Jelani JB Bodie versus Callum Reynolds, part 3 for Thanksgiving. Oh, it was awesome. They went at it for Saints and Falcons. Also, we had 2 newcomers who I hope are just going to join us plenty more times. Miss Wanda of Our Turf, previously NFL female, and Miss Adina. Of course, Miss Wanda representing her Bears and Miss Adina representing her Lions. Also, we had a pretty awesome battle between Miss D, of course the ABC of D, and Mr. Texas. D representing her Bills and Texas representing her Cowboys. And, well, tonight we got 2 more for you. We got 2 more newcomers talking Monday Night Football, Vikings and Seahawks. And, well, we got 2 old school. One of them an Sports Radio Hall of Famer, and next year I think he's going to be on the ballot. He has to be, man. Chris Ketchum, of course. Pete representing his Patriots, and Chris representing his Texans for tonight's 2 primetime face-offs. And, of course, we got a lot to get to today for Week 13 in the NFL. Jets, Bengals, that should be interesting. Titans and Colts, I hope that's a good game. Eagles and Dolphins, play to their level, Eagles, see what happens. Packers over the... I feel so bad for saying that. Packers and Giants. Let's just see if the Giants can give some kind of a battle. Browns and Steelers. Oh, boy. That's... let's just say, I don't know. That's going to be quite the game. Redskins and Panthers. This should be actually a really good game as well, right? The Redskins have been playing a little bit better, and Panthers, my gosh, what a game last week. Ravens and Niners, that could be the game of the week. Oh, that's going to be quite the battle. Rams and Cardinals, well, we can only hope for a good game there. Broncos and Chargers, same deal there. 2 AFC West, NFC West teams there going head-to-head. And my Raiders and Chiefs, oh boy. You are tuned in live to 3 and Out right here on Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we go. Yet another edition of 3 and Outs. 2 of them on the week, so hopefully you're enjoying them. I know I certainly am. It's going to be another fun one. Last night, oh, it was awesome. I'm telling you, those 3 primetime face-offs were awesome. We got those 3 primetime face-offs in. And then we got the recap of Week 12. Well, tonight we have 2 more primetime face-offs, so we're starting off with those this week. And then, of course, the final weigh-in at the end where I give my picks for Week 13 and give my picks for all of them. If you notice, I didn't even give my picks for the Thanksgiving games. So, remember, by the way, big shout out to Mr. Chan Rodriguez, man. He won the shirt last night. That's right, our t-shirt giveaway. I already owed him a shirt for being part of the team, but I guess he earned it now. So he'll be shipping him off a shirt pretty soon. Big ups to, of course, Miss Wildly Unruly. She was the first victor, or winner, if you will, of a free iSports Radio t-shirt, giving us her top 10 scariest, or top 5 scariest players of all time back on Halloween on that week. So that was an awesome little giveaway we had there, and she received her shirt, so I'm glad she received her shirt. And, of course, Taryn wins our next giveaway. So our next giveaway is actually coming back to back. Well, how do you say? How do you enter? Well, let me explain how you enter this one here, y'all. It's going to be a fun one. We have the IE Sports Radio hoodies coming out this week. Super excited for this one. It's going to be a pick'em game on Thanksgiving. So pick your winners and, of course, pick the final score. If the team you picked wins it and your score is closest over everybody, I will tally up all of the scores who got the closest, and the winner will be awarded the IE Sports Radio hoodie. You let me know your size, and, well, that'll be coming to you in a few weeks because I still got to get them made by the 6th. But that will be tomorrow's game, so let us know what you feel, or let us know what you think with your picks. Make sure to pick in the chat room, the 3 and Out group, or of course you can just DM it to me if you're not in the 3 and Out group here on Twitter, but let us know, and that will be that. So with that said, y'all, let's go ahead and well, there he goes. Taryn already in the chat room, man. He says, hello, everyone. Have an awesome Thanksgiving. Have a great show there. Hey, thank you very much, Mr. Taryn. Taryn and I just went the distance, man, 3 hours earlier. It was an awesome edition of 3 and Out. Really, really cool show. 3 and Out College Edition. So we just finished up there. And, yeah, that was a great show. We had, of course, Aaron Smith and Mr. Gary Bryant. Gotta remember their names, my bad, guys. But they were awesome. Of Centennial High School, which is right here in the IE. They were in the CIS section semifinals. Unfortunately, they were knocked out. But hey, I'm cheering them on no matter what. They had a great season. St. John Bosco and Mater Dei going head-to-head this season. Mater Dei going, they defeated Mission Viejo, and, well, they're going head-to-head in the Southern Section, the CIF Southern Section Championship there, and it's number 1 versus number 2. That's what makes it so significant. It's not like we're trying to slight the rest of the country. Those two teams, the number 1 and number 2 teams, as they were in Week 8, where Mater Dei defeated St. John Bosco, they're going head-to-head, as they once did, or as they did in Week 8, but they were number 1 and number 2 in Week 8, and they're number 1 and number 2 yet again, so, in the country, rated by Max Preps. So, courtesy of Max Preps there, where I got my sources from, maxpreps.com. But anyway, with that said, y'all, tonight won't be the longest show. It'll actually be cut pretty short. We'll be on till about, 45 minutes past 5 o'clock, around there. So if you're listening on the West Coast, that's about it, about 5:45-ish. If you're on Mountain Time, about 6:45-ish. If you're on Central Time, then about 7:45-ish. And if you're on the East Coast, about 8:45-ish, around there, PM. So that'll be it. I gotta make sure I, shower up and eat some dinner and head on over. I guess I might enjoy dinner over there, but I'll be heading on over to CBU tonight. Really excited. My beloved CBU Lancers, that's right, Lance up, will be taking on South Dakota tonight, USD, University of South Dakota. So really excited to face them tonight, and I'll be in the house in the CBU Events Arena. So really excited for that, and I'll be present, cheering on my team and enjoying maybe some hot cocoa. I might get some dinner there. I don't know. Hang out at CBU for a little bit. I just saw earlier they have a Black Friday sale going on at the bookstore, and hopefully at the team store. And I don't know. I need to avoid it because I spend money every time I go there getting more apparel, more CBU apparel. They know me. I'm like a regular there now, but they're awesome people. I got my CBU mug right here next to me, chilling. I think I put that on my Instagram a couple weeks ago. So anyway, I get shirts and everything and Under Armours, mostly Under Armours, but awesome stuff, or dry fits, if you will. But awesome stuff. I got a backpack last week, a little sling backpack, a little clinch backpack, what they call it. But anyway, awesome stuff there. So big ups to CBU. Really excited for that going on tonight. So I'll be at the game. If you're at CBU tonight, hey, say what's up. If you see me, say what's up. But anyway, so with that said, y'all, let's get on into this week. So as I mentioned, we have some primetime face-offs getting ready to set in just actually a few minutes here. We have Mr. Chris Ketchum taking on Mr. Pete Garofalo, an iSports Radio Hall of Famer. Pete Garofalo taking on Mr. Chris Ketchum coming up shortly. And then, to end us tonight, we actually have 2 newcomers. Really excited for these 2 dudes coming on tonight. Just found them a little bit on Twitter, so we'll talk with them shortly. Well, actually in a little bit. And then, of course, I'll give you my final weigh-in of all of these games. We got some decent games this week. I think the big one that everyone's taking a look at is Niners at Ravens. This is going to be absolutely huge. Mr. Blake, H-Town Blake Henley and I were talking earlier, or texting, and he was telling me this might be like a Super Bowl preview, and this would be the rematch of the Harborough Bowl, except for only one Harborough, not the other. Little Harborough's got his own battle. We talked about that on College Edition, Taryn and I, between that team up north and that 4-letter word, the game, as they call it. like I said, the old school matchup, Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes. Amazing coaches right there, legendary coaches. But, yeah, so that right there is, that's what Little Harborough is going to be facing, Ohio State. And Big Harborough will be facing, or I guess little brother, big brother. Little brother will be facing Ohio State, and big brother will be facing the 49ers. So, should be an interesting game there. A really, really, really good game. I'm really looking forward to that one. But we will get to that later on tonight. Until then, we're going to take ourselves a short break. And when we get back, it is time for our first primetime face-off of the evening. As I mentioned, Hall of Famer, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer Pete Garofalo taking on Mr. Chris Ketchum, and I think he's soon to be a Hall of Famer as well, guys. I think he's got to be on the ballot next year. This dude's awesome. Every time I need him, he's there. So, anyway, y'all, with that said, we're taking a short break, and when we get back, let's get into that first primetime face-off of the evening for Sunday Night Football. Oh, it's going to be fun. Patriots, Texans, let's get it! We will see y'all on the other side of this break. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world. From the English Premier League, to the World Cup, to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring.
The international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
That it is, ladies and gentlemen. Martin Sandoval, Felicia Ruiz, and Matt Patricia are actually on hiatus right now, but hey, we go. Well, they'll get rolling back shortly with our wrestling show. Regardless, y'all, well, it's about that time. Prime time face-off number 1 about to get down. Ladies and gentlemen, so glad to have these two gentlemen right back here. Chris was just on, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, right, getting close. And, of course, Mr. Pete Garofalo, I mean, the guy's always there. I need him as well. He's a Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, so glad to have him back here tonight. Well, Sunday night, their teams go head-to-head, and it's gonna be a fun one. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Sunday night football. Let's get down, y'all. Let's boogie. We have the New England Patriots taking on the Houston Texans. Let's get it, y'all. Alrighty. With that said, representing the away team, he is, as I mentioned already, y'all, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer. He was actually in the inaugural class of IE Sports Radio, or the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame. The second class, well, get those votes in, y'all, because they'll be announced next Thursday on December 5th in our very special Hall of Fame edition of The Dividing Moment. Who will join them? We shall see. But ladies and gentlemen, let's move it on now. And like I said, of course, Hall of Famer here. Proud to have him back. And he's a proud Patriots fan. I will not be telling his brisket story tonight, even though I know he's probably sick of me saying it, but it was pretty funny. If you want to hear it, let me know in the chat room. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, he is IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer in the first Hall of Fame class of IE Sports Radio, the inaugural Hall of Fame class of IE Sports Radio, and proud listener of IE Sports Radio, proud season ticket holder of the New England Patriots, and all around just great guy, and all around great Boston fan, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't say enough great things about this guy, because I'd be here for pretty much the entire show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the one, the only, Mr. Pete Garofalo. What's going on, Pete?
What's up, Larry? What's
hey, buddy. Dude, how you doing today, man? You doing all right?
Doing all right. God is good.
God's right, man. God is great. How's it going over there, man? You guys getting any snow yet in Boston?
Nope. Actually, we had thunder showers.
Showers.
We had thunder showers here. It's a little over 50. It's actually very mild.
My gosh.
And within walking distance of my house, there's actually the high school over here having their traditional Thanksgiving Day football game. They have it Wednesday night.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, that seems pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. I like that.
If it wasn't raining, I'd probably go over there, but it is, so I won't.
Well, hey, hopefully they have a great game and a good, safe game. That's pretty awesome, man. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that, of course, is Mr. Pete Garofalo representing the Patriots. And representing the Texans, as you heard him a couple weeks ago, or I think it was last week, he joined us last minute, and what can I say, man? He's a great guy. He loves his Texans. He was there in the house during that game, and once again, the guy, great dude all the way around. If I said enough great things about him, I'd be here all show once again. This guy is awesome. Die hard Houston Texans fan. And what can I say, man? He's gonna be excited. He's excited for this He's excited for this Texans team. Why? well, let's just say they have an athlete that is extremely exciting to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, so glad to have him back here on the show tonight. The one and only, Mr. Chris Jackson. What's going on, Chris? How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's awesome, man. Glad to have you back. So, all right, gentlemen, you guys know the drill. You guys are two vets at this thing. Let's get to it. X Factors. I want them and I want them now. You got to show some love to the X Factors, y'all. So, Pete, start us off, man. You have 1 minute on the clock. I'll ring the buzzer when the minute hits. But let us know, Pete, who or what, or not say what, but who are your X Factors or your X Factor for this game coming on in to Houston on Sunday night to beat these Texans? You have 1 minute. Begin.
Okay, I think the X Factors are going to be, it's going to be the running game. If somebody is going to emerge on the running game. Last week it was Sony Michel. He had a great game. They gave him the ball all the time. This week, it could be Bolden. It could be James White, who's been pretty quiet lately. Could be Rex Burkhead. Same thing at receivers. I don't know if Dorsett's going to play. I don't know if Sanu's going to play. But, Harry had a nice game, had his first touchdown last week. Edelman's always solid. Maybe the tight ends get involved. Maybe Ben Watson gets involved. But I think that's what you're looking at.
Okay, I like that. Good little matchups right there and good stuff. You were under a minute, so that was good. Hey, great timing there. So, alrighty, Chris, let us know, man. What do you think? Who do you think the X Factors will be for your Texans to welcome in these tough Patriots and then beat them? You got a minute on the clock. What you got?
Well, definitely, you got to say Deshaun Watson is like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I thought. Also, I wouldn't say Hopkins, but I feel like he's going to be the one name with wide receiver they're going to be focusing on. So I got to go with Will Fuller. He's been hurt most of the year. He showed up against the Colts. They had little tape on him because he wasn't playing much, and he lit it up against the Colts. I think they got one good game to review his stuff. I think he's going to catch him off guard. I think Will Fuller is going to be too much of a threat. They also have colors high, like the mixed up. They're going to kind of change between colors high. Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, just try to catch him off guard and try to get down the field.
Okay, well, good stuff there, and I really agree. Both of you guys, the running game for the Patriots has to do something because it's just... Right now, it sucks. Sanu's hurt. I mean, you guys, like I said, Harry, he's there, but it's like Edelman is kind of the only big threat right now. There's no more Gronk. The defense is holding on great, but, it's kind of rough. As for the Texans, you guys have the defense taking a hit without Watt, but you guys look pretty tough. Of course, you guys got a big-time name in Deshaun Watson, but it's just, I don't know, it's pretty crazy, man. You guys got quite the cast there, but okay, so let's move it on now into the lightning round, have some fun and go back and forth here. So, weaknesses. I want some weaknesses. Let me know. Pete, start us off, man. Pick out some weaknesses or a weakness or some weaknesses on the Texans that you feel that your team can exploit to go on in a Texan and hand them over an L. You have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
Okay, weaknesses on the Texans. I think, like Chris said, their offense is really good. I think they've got a good, Watson is fantastic. They've got great receivers. They've got, even though Lamar Miller got hurt, Carlos Hyde's having a nice year. Duke Johnson's good change pace. I think the defense, I think the Patriots can, they haven't shown it in the past couple of weeks, but they, the Texans defense can be exploited. And, as we've seen, they don't need to put up 30, 40 points to win a game. Their defense is strong enough that, as long as they get, if they get in the end zone twice, they score a couple touchdowns, the defense can probably make that hold up. And I think that's what they're going to have to do.
Well, good stuff there. I really think, hey, awesome, and I definitely agree with that. So, okay, so with that said, Weaknesses. So what do you think, Chris? You have 30 seconds to rebound from that. Let us know what you think about what Pete just said. And do you think, well, he's got a point, those are some weaknesses, or no, not at all, you're delusional, not a chance. So you have 30 seconds there, and then as soon as you're done, we'll go ahead, we'll cut the 30 seconds, and then we'll go into your weaknesses that you feel are on the Patriots that your Houston Texans can exploit. So first up, 30 seconds on the clock, defend your team.
Well, I definitely think we can. Our quarterbacks are kind of iffy. We have Jonathan Joseph is definitely the weakest part of the team. He's pretty good, but he is super slow. If he gets exploited, someone burns him, it's all over. The Texans are really good. They have an average defense when they want to. If they get exploited, they just kind of get shut down. I definitely think we need to start blitzing Tom Brady a lot more. The dude is super slow. If we just get to him before throw the ball away, we should be good. Let's cover the wide receivers. And I think we should have a good chance. As long as he doesn't go. Brady does not throw bombs down the field. He kind of goes short pass. We just cover the short routes. I think we can slow him down.
Okay, well, I like that. You combined it together, so okay, I'll take that. So, okay. So, for the weaknesses, Pete, you have 30 seconds to rebound, man. What do you think? Do you think he's got a point there, or no, not going to happen? Sorry, Chris. So, what do you think, man?
No, I think he's right. I mean, the defense for Houston is an issue. They had that terrible game against Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore's been playing great, but, the defense just was abysmal. I was shocked at how bad it was. As far as what he says about the short passes, I think, it's teams have kept the Patriots offense in check, and, they did a good job against Indianapolis last week in the win. If they can do that, they give themselves a chance. If they can, hold the Patriots under 20 points, they have a shot to win. Sure, absolutely. Okay,
well, there you go. I let it go over 30 seconds because we got plenty of time coming up. So, alrighty, so let's go ahead and get on into the fire round, the back and forth round, and let us know, y'all. We want the game plans. So, as it goes, this consists of one game plan. We'll start with Pete. Pete will give us your 1 minute game plan, which you guys got to do to beat the Texans. And of course, give us a final score if you would like. Then we'll go on over to Chris. Chris will respond with his 30 second response of if he thinks if he thinks Pete's game plan is good, something he would do against the Texans, or no, sorry, not gonna happen, you're delusional, that deal. And then Chris will give us his game plan for to beat the Patriots on Sunday, and then we'll hand it back over to Pete, and then Pete will give us his 30 seconds of, that's a pretty good game plan, or no, sorry, you're delusional, Chris. So that kind of thing. So you know how it goes. So alrighty, let's get on into it and have some fun. You have 1 minute on the clock, Mr. Pete. Let us know, man, what is your game plan for your Patriots, and if you'd like to throw a final score at the end.
Okay. Well, the game plan, as I always say it every single time I'm on the show, keep Houston out of the end zone. If the Patriots do that, they'll win the game. I mean, you can let Houston kick all the field goals they want, keep them out of the end zone. And so far, the defense, that's exactly why they were able to win last week. I mean, they only scored 13 points in the quagmire, but Dallas outgained them, but Dallas didn't get touchdowns. As a result, Dallas didn't win. That game plan can work against Houston. It can work against anyone, even if the offense is not at its peak. And Belichick will find something. He will find a way to get players involved that you don't expect.
Okay, perfect. Good. And absolutely, as he always seems to do. So great job under a minute. And okay, so 30 seconds, just 30 seconds, Chris. Tell us, is that a game plan that you can kind of see working if you were going against your own team, or no, it's not going to happen? What do you think?
I definitely think it could work. The Texans, they're kind of weird. I don't really know. Once the Patriots I think the Patriots are going to get the upper hand, for sure. And I just depends on if Bill O'Brien can counteract that. I don't know if he can He either does really good or he just bombs it. And I feel like in this game, Bill O'Brien's going to try to be Bill Belichick, try to play like Bill Belichick. And I think it's going to probably cost him in the end. I think it's going to end up backfiring, and I think the Texans are probably not going to be able to come back.
Oh, that sucks. Well, I mean, a little downer there, but hey, you're being real. So, okay, now let's go to your game plan, Chris. What do your Texans have to do? I mean, hey, but you're being realistic, and that's what it's all about, man, being a diehard fan. So no matter what, with your team always, but hey, you can be realistic, and that's what it's all about. So real quick, Chris, give us a minute now of your game plan. What do your Texans have to do to knock off these Patriots for the second time in the season, actually? Not you guys, but of course, second time they've taken a loss. First one was the Ravens. You guys know that. But, okay, so tell us, what is your game plan, Chris, for your Texans to defeat these Patriots, and then, of course, give us your final score if you would like.
They have to go down the field. They have to just get the first downs, try to take a couple of wide open shots to look for Hopkins. Don't focus on that because it's going to get picked off. Just go down the field. That's all you got to do. The Patriots score first? Okay, whatever. Just go down the field, first down, tight ends, just get first down, get to the end zone. They have to score touchdowns, right? They have to score touchdowns. They cannot be settling for field goals. And they have to go for it on fourth down. If you're at the 10-yard line, it's fourth down, you're down by 7, you got to go for it. Go for the touchdown. You settle for a field goal, you're going to lose. Bill Belichick's going to be going for the fourth down because Bill Belichick is a better coach. I will say that now. Bill Belichick is the best coach by a mile. And the Texans have to capitalize on scoring position. You're at the 10-yard line, go for the end zone. If you don't make it, okay, they're at the 10-yard line. They have to go further to score. Just trust in your team and try to score in the end zone. Don't settle for field goals, and that's going to be the key. They go for field goals instead of touchdowns, it's going to be a bad game.
That is a great, and by the way, yeah, the greatest of all time, in my opinion, Coach Bill Belichick. Right over a minute there, perfect time. He didn't get to buzz the bell on you because that was a great job, and I completely agree, man. It's the better coach, of course. I mean, you can say that, in my opinion, versus everybody in the NFL because Belichick, in my opinion, is the greatest coach of all time. But I'm just going to tell you right now, yes, you are absolutely right. I think this is a game where the Texans have to go all out. Why not? Screw it. Keep the punter on the sideline.
Odds are, but let's say the Texans go to the playoffs. Okay, the first team's probably going to be like maybe the Chiefs or something. The next game, I can promise you, it's going to be the Patriots. Every time they get to the divisional round, it's always the Patriots. You're going to have to face them in the playoffs anyway. Treat it like a playoff game and go all out. If you can't beat them in the regular season, you're probably not going to win the postseason. Just go all out and go for the win.
You know
Give
what?
Give it all you got.
Why not? Where's that applause button, man? Wow. Yes, why not? Because why not? You're going to have to face the Goliath again at some point in the season. You already know that, so why not? Yes, that is a great... Pete, what do you think about that, man?
I totally, absolutely agree with everything Chris just said. I think that, if it's fourth and short and you don't go for it, you're a fool. I mean, I get angry watching games, even when it's to the Patriots' benefit. And, they're playing Buffalo or Jets or somebody like that, or Pittsburgh, and, it's fourth and a yard, the 1 yard line, and here comes a field goal unit. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's not how you win. It's like anything else. It's like, these guys are so afraid of what the media is going to say and sports talk radio, and just the hell with it. Go for it. John Harbaugh had a conference. He said it at a conference like they were giving him a hard time. He said, this is what we do, and we're going to keep doing it. And guess what? He's 11-1. So, yeah. That's the strategy I have.
And the main reason I say that, I'm not trying to cut you off, is remember the last game, Deshaun Watson, the Patriots played. Bill O'Brien had the lead. He had it in the bag. There was less than a minute left. He had it in the bag, but he kept taking field goals. And what happened? In less than 2 minutes, the Patriots came back and stole the win away. Because Bill O'Brien was conservative. I feel like that could happen again. He has to go for the touchdown. You go for a field goal, you're up by 3 with 2 minutes left. I can promise you the Patriots are going to come back and take the win from us. They have to keep the lead and take the touchdowns to prevent a comeback.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, look at the game with Carolina and New Orleans last week. I mean, Carolina goes for, a 29-yard field goal. Do you have so little confidence in your offense that you can't get 2 yards? And, it's almost like, karma. He shanked it. Breeze drove down the field, and then they went for a field goal, which then made sense because you don't have enough time. You've only got time for one play. And even then, once, the field goal, it was, if it was 5 more yards out, he would have missed it. But it's just, like a friend of mine said, you play for the touchdown, you settle for the field goal. These guys are just so afraid of, that they're going to lose. They're so afraid that they're going to get second guessed, that the fans are going to come on them, that they're going to get, beaten up on social media, on their talk shows. And you can't live like that. If you're going to live like that, don't be an NFL coach. Norv Turner is a great offensive coordinator, but he was a horrible head coach because he just, he punts, the AFC Championship game in 2007 when they played the Patriots. The game was still in the balance. San Diego, at the times they were San Diego, had the ball in New England territory, and Turner punted. I'm like, are you insane? I said, as soon as he kicked it, I said, that's it. They lost the game. And, I just think that, you have to, you got to go for it. The other thing I want to just say about your coach, Bill O'Brien, trying to be Belichick, one thing Belichick has not done, he's kind of like Vince Lombardi in that he doesn't have a coaching tree, really. There were very few coaches that coached under Lombardi that became good head coaches in their own right. I mean, I think probably the best was Forrest Gregg, who went to the Super Bowl with Cincinnati back in '81. And Belichick has not. I mean, Matt Patricia's done okay in Detroit, but they're not there. Charlie Weiss didn't really do that great. College, Romeo Crennel didn't do well as a head coach for the most part. Bill O'Brien is probably the best guy he's that's come out from the tree. I think Patricia will be good in time, but I think O'Brien is probably the best, and he's good. He's not.
He's good. Like imagine if he's running a race. He's like last year. Okay, you fell behind. You're pretty good. Then he won 9 in a row. Okay, now you're doing good. You're in the lead. That looks good. You're beating everybody. You get to the playoffs, and then like right when the most at the finish line, you fall on your face. And that's what I suppose this is going to happen right now. He does really good. Oh yeah, you're doing pretty good the regular season. Now when it matters most to get a spot in the conference, he's going to fall on his face.
Yep.
He may change. He may actually win this, but based on what Bill O'Brien has done in the past against big-name opponents, he usually falls on his face. Kansas City earlier this year was about the only exception I can find that he's done.
Yes. And even then, Kansas City, I mean, they're a lot like, their defense is just horrible.
What big win has Bill O'Brien done? He beat the Raiders in the playoffs against the backup quarterback? Was he impressed by that? I'm not impressed by that at all. Like I'm telling you, when the game matters the most, he chokes. So hopefully he breaks the cycle on Sunday.
He's like I put him like, maybe a couple of notches ahead of Marvin Lewis at this point. Because you remember Marvin Lewis, he would always do good in the regular season, but he never won a playoff game.
Yeah, then he gets annihilated in the playoffs. That's exactly what Bill O'Brien does.
Yep.
He does just enough to save his job. It's like, I'm like, how are you not fired yet? Not blown out in the playoffs. You had the worst loss in franchise history a few weeks ago against the Ravens. But somehow you do just enough to save your job.
My fantasy league, I have my defense, my regular defense was off that week, so I picked Houston. And I picked them because I thought, they'll be competitive. And just, I lost points. I would have been better off just not taking the 0 than playing Houston's defense. They were that bad. I mean, I just saw the game, and I was just, oh my God. I just, I know Baltimore is, they're like Lamar Jackson is like Mahomes was last year. He's, the guy that's got everybody excited. I mean, he's a fantastic player. But it's just, in the end, it comes down to the defense, and it comes down to scoring when you need to score, and it comes down to making fourth downs. To your point, going for it on fourth down, the more you go for it, eventually it becomes old hat, and your mindset changes, and you're like, well, we don't have to get it. We don't have to, go in 3. We've got 4 plays to do this. And if it's fourth and short, we've been here before. We know what to do. And that's how, the more, it's like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Absolutely, guys. So, with that, sorry to cut you guys off, but
I like this guy.
Chris is a great guy, man. I'm telling you.
And he's Australian, and he knows his football, and he's a Texans guy, and he knows the players. I love this guy.
Chris Ketchum, man. You better catch him now. Great guy, man. Chris is the real deal. He will be on the ballot for next year's Hall of Fame. He's awesome, man. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you're listening, I hope you enjoyed some great football discussion there. Well, the poll has officially ended, and some of you may have already guessed it. Some of you may be a little shocked at the margin. But, what was that?
It's going to be a blowout. No way anyone picks Houston to actually win this.
Yeah.
They have one loss. Do you really think Houston's going to be the second loss in the Patriots record?
If they pulled it off, it would be insane. But with 82%, you guys guessed it, 82%. Ladies and gentlemen, you listeners are going with the New England Patriots to win this thing on Sunday night. I mean, okay. Pete, what do you think, real quick, man? Before we bounce, what do you think?
Well, I think, I'm a little surprised that it's that high. I don't think, it's not like we're playing the Jets or the Bengals or anything like that. I think Houston, when they're at their best, they're a good team. This is a home game for Houston. New England's offense hasn't put up that much points, so it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. This is a very winnable game for Houston. I would not be surprised to see them win.
What do you think, Chris?
And I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see it competitive.
Right? What do you think about that, Chris?
It should definitely be competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I'd be more surprised if Bill O'Brien doesn't choke the win away. They have the ability to win, but Bill O'Brien has terrible clock management. And they already blew 2 games in 2 years due to bad clock management. I feel like this is going to be the game where Bill O'Brien blows it with the bad clock management. Like I said, it's possible. It's possible. The Texans could win it, but I just don't have enough faith in Bill O'Brien not to screw it up.
Man, it sucks because you guys it's true. I want to make this competitive, but you're right. It's just there's this points in this game where I just hope are a little more competitive. But with that said, gentlemen, that will do it. You guys, man, are awesome. Where's that applause button at again, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, the Hall of Famer Pete Garofalo, and I really feel the soon-to-be Hall of Famer Chris Ketchum. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, they are awesome. These 2 guys are the real deal. Awesome stuff. They've been around iSports Radio for a while, and I'm so glad that they are here today and that they've been around for a while and that they're still here today. So, awesome stuff with that said. Great conclusion and just awesome stuff. So, you know how it goes, guys. You know the plug at the end. Let's get to it. So, Mr. Pete, you know the drill, brother. Let these diehard fans know where to find you, man.
you can find me at PGAR58, PGAR58 and that's my handle on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So I'm like with the cool kids now. And I'm at, if I go to the games at Gillette Stadium, I'm in section 101, row 34. If I'm there, you're all welcome. Stop by, say hi.
Pete, I would love to stop by one day and say hi. I would love to go to that stadium one day. It would be awesome to watch a game with you, man. You're the real deal.
It's a gorgeous stadium, and it's aged very well. To me, it's not unbiased. I think it's probably one of the 5 best stadiums in the NFL because it's a beautiful stadium. It's functional, and it's not ostentatious. You've got these stadiums that are just, like the stadium they're building in L.A., is just unbelievable. The stadium in Houston is gorgeous. And it's, in a lot of ways, the stadium in New England reflects New England. It's very practical. They have things like open concourses. The concourses are nice and wide. It is a little bit of a problem if you're going up to the upper deck, but it's a beautiful stadium. Getting in and out's kind of a pain, but welcome to New England. That's the way it is.
Hey man, that's awesome. That sounds like a nice, very nice venue. I would love that. I think it'd be great. And of course, Mr. Chris, let us know, man. Where can all these diehard fans find you as well, good sir?
Find me on Twitter at Chris_Ketchum, KETCHEM. I always try to live tweet the Texans games. Unless I'm at one of the games. But the call, I did try my best. But this game on Sunday, I'm going to definitely be live tweeting it. You can stay tuned. And then I'll try to live tweet the Saints game if it's afterwards. I try to follow both of them. So definitely try to always keep track of both games whenever I can.
Hey, that's what's up, man. You're always welcome to live tweet with us, and that's all about it, man. You gotta love sports, and that's what it's all about. And as the lovely Miss Meg Renee says, football is family, and it brings us together. So I love it, and I think it's an amazing thing. Well, I definitely know it brings us together because of this show for sure, man. This show is proof that football just brings us together, and that football is family. So we appreciate all of y'all, and thank you guys so much for being on tonight's show. With that said, so all right, gentlemen. Hey, hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the games and enjoy Sunday night. We'll put you on the group chat with us if you'd like. If not, mute us. But hey, we definitely appreciate y'all and all your input with here at iSports Radio on 3 now. Thank you so much, Mr. Pete and Mr. Chris. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving and wonderful happy holidays. God bless you and your families both, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Larry. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for having me on. Happy Thanksgiving, Chris.
Hey, Todd, take care, y'all. God bless. Talk to you soon. Alrighty, y'all. That will do it. What a job, man. Again, Mr. Pete Garofalo, iSports Radio Hall of Famer, and Mr. Chris Ketchum. You got to show him some love. That was awesome. They did an amazing job, and I'm just really glad they were a part of the show here tonight. So, alright, y'all, with that said, we have one more primetime face-off coming up. And then, of course, my final win on all of the games, including the Thanksgiving games. So, alrighty, hopefully you're enjoying the show so far. As a matter of fact, I got to get on to Mr. Taryn Rodriguez in the chat room tonight. He's up in there, so appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning on in. Let's see here. Terrence says, I think the Patriots will win a close one against the Texans. That said, look for Will Fuller to come up big. Considering Stephon Gilmore will be all over DeAndre Hopkins. In the parentheses, like he was against Amari Cooper. Also, look for the Texans to run, or to get the run game going, as well as Darren Fells involved at tight end, involved at the tight end position. I can honestly see this being a high-scoring affair. And yeah, I agree. It says 35-20 Patriots over the Texans. I don't want to get in my way in just yet, but I agree to an extent. I mean, I actually really agree with Darren. That makes a lot of sense. I just really feel like this, I don't know. These defenses just may take over. I don't know. Like I was talking to Alex Gaines, honestly, it's just the Patriots just, I don't know. It's hard for them right now. They don't have all the weapons that they used to have. And it sucks because if this would have turned, if everything would have worked out with Antonio Brown, I mean, my gosh, this offense would have been absolutely nuts. But unfortunately, things happen, Sanu's hurt at the moment. That sucks. N'Keal Harry is great, but I don't know where, I have no idea what's going to happen with him. I don't know if he's playing or not, but this is just a tough game because, no more big, giant monster Gronk there. Not trying to say anything against Fells, but I just really think right now the Patriots are in a tough spot. They know they're still the dominant monster. They're still the juggernaut of the NFL. That defense is really, a big part of that. And of course you have 12. You have Tom Brady on the other side of the ball. Well, of course you have him on the field. And anytime he's out there, I mean, he's gonna make great things happen. If you give that guy an inch, he'll take a mile. I mean, he's amazing. He's a great athlete, and the guy is, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback of all time. So I am so happy that I'm able to watch him every week, or throughout football season. And he's a great player. A really, really, really great player, and the guy is just his actions, his play speaks for itself. So tough athlete, and it's overall, I think it's going to be really tough. It's going to be a very tough game. Regardless, though, I just don't know if, like Chris was saying, nothing against Bill O'Brien, but we definitely, you have the better coach over there. It's every week when somebody plays against the Patriots, you have the better coach and the better quarterback versus you every week. Now, are they going to win every week? No. Am I saying that Lamar Jackson is better than Tom Brady? No. Am I saying that Lamar Jackson has every chance of being better than Tom Brady one day? Of course, anybody does. But his legacy shows right now, because Tom Brady is the now. Lamar Jackson is the future. Am I saying anything bad about John Harbaugh? No. But, I'm not trying to say he's in the running for the greatest coach of all time, but I do know, everyone, it's obvious Belichick is the guy, so he's the better coach. So when it comes down to it, it's just really tough, okay? It's really, really, really tough to kind of pinpoint any type of anything against the Patriots because they always seem to have something. I mean, there's always something there. The freaking Patriots, no matter what you do, there's always some kind of scheme, some kind of game plan, something that comes up. And, something comes up, but something that can bring this team to some kind of redemption even when they're down. So they're a very tough football team, guys. Beating the Patriots is a lot like cracking a Rubik's Cube. It's not impossible, but my gosh, it's going to take some work, unless you're really good at Rubik's Cubes. But I'm just trying to give an example, because some of you out there are going, I can crack Rubik's Cubes easy. So it's easy the Patriots too. Well, some people may see it that way, Some coaches, just kidding. I don't know. Well, of course, a lot of people treat it like I would treat it the same exact way. If I was in the NFL, I'd be thinking the same thing. They got to give them their respect. They're amazing, but they're beatable, and we're going to beat them, because that's the mentality you have. You can't go out there and be like, oh no, we're gonna get beat. You know what I mean? You gotta have that fight. So I just personally feel like right now this is a good football team, and you got a game plan for these guys like crazy, but you do that in every week in the NFL because every team is tough. Some teams are better than others. Some teams are a lot better than others. But when it comes down to it, you just gotta know, you gotta go out there and play every single week the way you do, and go crazy every single week, and coach crazy every single week. And every week's gotta be some kind of a huge, it's gotta be big. So with that said, guys, that's just pretty much my take on it. So, as you can see, I've pretty much already kind of gotten to my way in here. So as a matter of fact, I have yet to hear from our Seahawks fan. Kind of bummed right now. Hopefully we can get him on here soon. But with that said, we'll take ourselves a short, well, actually it might be a little lengthy, my apologies, but we'll take ourselves a break. And when we get back, we're going to jump right on in, or hopefully we jump on into a primetime face-off. We'll see. Hopefully that works out. I know our Vikings fan is ready to rock and roll, so we will get going with that. And, we will be ready to go, guys. So, with that said, let's do it. Let's take ourselves a short or a commercial break. It might be a little lengthy. My apologies for the length. But who knows? So, we'll be back after this break, and we will hopefully have our second and final primetime face-off of the week. It'll be our 5th total, actually. But, yeah, that will be that. So, anyway, that will do it, and we'll catch you on this side of this break. You are listening to part 2 of our special 2019 NFL, or NFL Thanksgiving edition of 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back and in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I A in the FBS? Well then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running points, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, IESportsRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Brian McLaughlin. In the National Football League, there are approximately 17 million total fans.
I'm Andrew Guzman. My Dallas Cowboys make up almost 9 million of those fans.
And my Seahawks have a very loyal fan base of around 4 million.
That's more than 3/4 of all the fans.
That's absolutely correct, Andrew. And on the Common Ground Football Podcast, we'll be talking about the good, bad, and the ugly of these teams.
We'll have weekly picks, discuss transactions, injuries.
And we'll chat about the rest of the league, too.
Blake freaking Bortles?
Oh, yes. And Captain Andrew Luck.
Excellent. What about Fitzmagic?
Oh, let's not get carried away now.
Oh, all right, then.
Join us each week at commongroundfootballpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast.
It's going to be
awesome.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You got to check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2LiveStewsRadio.com and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan? Indeed.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
My NBA college basketball fans out there.
tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world. Tired of hearing about what such and such reward tonight, and not about the game. Hey, leave all of that alone. Because on Wednesday nights, I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in, and we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tired all the drama. Tired all the... What did he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Listen to Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Were you listening to a great game on USRN, but then the Wi-Fi crashed in the final seconds? Or do you simply want to listen to the best calls we here at USRN have to offer? Well then, you need to go check out our Audio Boom page. It holds a collection of our best calls that you don't want to miss. How do I get there, you ask? You can download the Audio Boom app and look up Ultimate Sports Radio, or simply go to audiobook.com/Ultimate Sports Radio. And as always, thanks for listening and making USRN one of the most talked about sports networks on Mixler.com.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide.
On the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source. Can you dig it, you sucker?
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, I gotta tell you right now, my apologies for the delay. There was a lot of craziness going on, my bad, and unfortunately now we don't got a whole bunch of time. I know these guys probably gotta go, so it's all good, but we'll get through this as fast as we possibly can. So, let's go ahead and start things off here with a brief introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, they are two first-timers here on tonight's show, and I'm so glad to have them here. Let's do the dang thing, alright? So, first and foremost, representing the away team, he is absolute diehard Vikings fan, y'all. Skull Nation all day, baby. That's right. He is here for the victory. He is cheering on his team. He believes in this team, and they're absolutely a team that are on the rise. But are they due for that collapse, or are they going to get this thing done? I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, we will find out. He is, once again, a diehard Vikings fan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in for his first time and hopefully first of many, Mr. Towns. What's going on, man? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good.
That's what's going on, man. I'm glad to have you on tonight's show. And, of course, welcoming his combatant. Glad to have him here. He has quite the tough name to say, and I'm going to do it because I take the challenge, y'all. He's awesome, man. This guy's the real deal. He's over here on the West Coast with me, so that works. But definitely a diehard Seahawks fan, and his team. I'm a Pete Carroll guy, so, of course, I always kind of take a little bit of the Seahawks side. Regardless, they've been slightly off lately. This year, they've kind of regained their footing. Have they regained it all the way? We'll talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, to take on Mr. Towns here in our final primetime face-off of the week. He, of course, is diehard Seahawks fan, and glad to have him here, a part of today's show. He actually runs a few pages, he said, on Facebook, and I think he's got himself a podcast. We'll even get into that in a little bit. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Sammy Jarjor. What's going on, Sammy?
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Hey, good to hear, man. Doing great tonight. Glad to hear you here. I'm glad to have you here, and let's get down. So here we go, y'all. Starting things off, X Factors. I want them, and I want them now. Mr. Towns, you are the away team, so we will start with the away team here, and then work on over to Sammy. So, Mr. Towns, let us know, man. You have 1 minute on the clock. Give us some X Factors. Either an X Factor or X Factors to help you guys beat these Vikings on the road on Monday night. You have 1 minute. Begin.
Well, the first thing first, our defense had to come out and start it off. If the defense don't come out and start it off, the offense would not play right. We must keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. We can't let him get outside the pocket. If we let him get outside the pocket, then he can kill us with the run and the pass. So last week I seen that the Eagles defense put a little pressure on him, but they also had a spy on him too. So he was kind of confused, so that's what caused 6 sacks towards him. And by the Vikings being a great defense, way better than the Eagles, I feel like we can put a spy on him, and we got the defense with ends that can get at Russell Wilson. So if we can just keep Russell Wilson in that pocket and make him beat us with his arm instead of his legs, we got this game. We got him.
You know what? That's a good. We haven't even got to the game plan yet, but I think I already see where your game plan's at. I like your X Factors. Okay, Mr. Sammy, let us know, man. Give us your X Factors for this game. Of course, you guys got the loudest stadium, I think, in the freaking world. All right, so let's just be real about that. So, Sammy, let us know, man. Give us your X Factors. You have 1 minute. Begin.
For me, it's going to be stopping Dalvin Cook. I mean, the run is
it's everything that gets the Vikings going. And the Seahawks defense, while it's been known for being a defensive force for the last, what has it been, 8 years of Russell Wilson, these last 2 years have been a time where it's mostly Russell Wilson carrying the team on his back, and the defense has actually been a little bit on the lower end in the NFL. And it's kind of the same this year. The defense has stepped up recently, but if they can't stop Dalvin Cook is where we're going to have the issues. I'm actually, compared to most people that aren't Viking fans, I'm a pretty big believer in Kirk Cousins. And the reason I'm a big believer in Kirk Cousins is he doesn't really make any big mistakes, and especially if you have the run game going. So I think the key here is you got to slow down Dalvin Cook, because if you get Dalvin Cook going, there's holes in the Seahawks' defense, especially up the middle, and then Kirk Cousins is going to be able to get going as well. So it all starts with slowing down Dalvin Cook. I think he's the best back in the NFL, so we really need to slow him down.
Okay, good stuff there, guys. Okay, so great job right there at the buzzer. So, okay, sounds good. Let's get on into the lightning round. Let's get back and forth and have a little bit of fun. You have 1 minute on the clock and a 30-second period. So let me explain this really fast before we get into it. Okay, so we will start with Mr. Towns. Mr. Towns, you will give us your 1 minute. Okay, you got a minute. Give us your 1 minute weaknesses on the Seahawks that you feel that your Vikings can exploit to beat them on Monday night in Seattle. After that, you will have Mr. Sammy will have a 30-second rebuttal of, you know what, he's kind of right. We do have weaknesses there. Or, no, you're delusional. Sorry, not going to happen. And then Sammy will give you a minute to talk about the weaknesses on the Vikings that you feel that your Seahawks can exploit. And then Mr. Towns can go ahead and rebound with his, you know what, he's got a point. We do have weaknesses there. Or no, sorry, man, not going to happen. Not today, not Monday, not no day. You're delusional, none of that. So that's will be the first round of that. Then we'll get into the game plans, and it'll follow the same type of thing. So should go pretty quick, but it's like I said, it's a fun little debate here. So let's start things off. Mr. Towns, you have 1 minute on the clock. Give us the weaknesses that you feel you can exploit.
With the weakness, I feel like, like he said, if they slow down our running game, it should have some type of opening up with our passing game. And by Adam Thielen coming back, that's a big help this week on our offense. Plus Diggs and Smith and Rudolph, they really stepping their game up. But also remember, Dalvin Cook is not our only back. We got a rookie running back in Madison who can carry the load when Dalvin Cook do get stopped. So in all, we got two backs. We have 4 different receivers that can really go downfield and spread out their defense. And I really think that the Seahawks defense, as in cornerbacks, I really don't think that they're able enough to keep up with our receivers out there. And if Kirk Cousins can make that throw, then we're most definitely going to win this game. But their weakness is their cornerback on their defense.
Okay, well, you broke up right there at the end, but I got you. I heard you say corners, so, and in the defense, so, okay, well, there you go. Well, the team that once was the Legion of Boom, well, Sammy, you have 30 seconds. What do you think, man? Do you think he's got a point, or no, it's not going to happen? What do you think?
He does have a point. I mean, that is, one of my main statements here is the Seahawks defense isn't what it used to be, but I mean, at the same time, it does sound very easy to get your running backs going and your quarterback and your 4 receivers going, but that's not always too easy in Seattle at CenturyLink. This team under Pete Carroll, I think it was some crazy stat. I don't have the exact stat with me today, but they're like, I think it's over an 80% win percentage on primetime games. So a lot of exposures aren't the same on the primetime games for the Seahawks.
Okay, makes sense. Good stuff there. Okay, good first round, guys. So you see how that goes? And like I said, let's just keep it rolling. So, all right, Sammy, now give us your 1 minute weaknesses on the Vikings that you feel you guys can exploit.
I got 2 things, I guess. Number one, while I did say I was a pretty big Kirk Cousins enthusiast, I will say Kirk Cousins on primetime has been a weakness for the Vikings. And I don't know if he's going to be able to come into Seattle on a Monday night game. I know it's cold in Minnesota, but their stadiums, are basically indoor. There's a little exposure, but it's indoor stadiums. Come outside, it's going to be about 30 degrees in Seattle, prime time. against Russell Wilson. I just don't know if Kirk Cousins is going to show up as much as he does, and just like he does at the 10 a.m. Pacific time games. So Kirk Cousins is one of those main weaknesses. And on top of that, I know Vikings defense is pretty good, but Russell Wilson has been unstoppable. He's one of those guys, especially on primetime as well, makes every single play when it's necessary. I would just be shocked if the Vikings come into Seattle and guys like Kirk Cousins play perfectly and the defense plays perfectly on a primetime game in the cold weather.
You know what? That is a great point. And okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so 30 seconds on the clock. Mr. Towns, what do you think? Do you think he has a point or no?
Well, in some way he has a point, but as they said, Kirk Cousins is not a primetime player, but the last couple games was primetime, and we finished them. We come back on the Denver Broncos from 20-0 and win that game, all because of Kirk Cousins held his composure. He didn't panic under the pressure or nothing. He made the right passes. He even ran the ball a couple times that game. But we haven't beat the Seahawks under Mike Zimmerman since Mike Zimmerman has been the coach with the Vikings. So maybe Monday will be our first time beating the Vikings with him.
That is a great point. Okay, well, we have one more round to get to, and that'll be that for the night. So let's get on into the game plans. Great job tonight, guys. You guys, man, for first timers, you guys are getting it. I'm loving this, man. Pure football fans, I'm loving it. As our very own John Felipe says of the 3 and Out, this IE Sports Radio, y'all, we are by the fans for the fans, and that's what it's all about. So let's start things off now. Mr. Towns, you have 1 minute on the clock. Let us know, what is your game plan? You've kind of already got into that, so if you want to repeat a little bit of that, that's fine. But let us, or all of it, that's fine. But let us know, what is your game plan for your Vikings to go on in to Sanctuary Link and knock these Seahawks off, man? Let us know.
My game plan is to start the defense off and finish with the defense. Defense must come out and win this ball game for us. The offense going to put up their points. We're going to put up our points, but it's up to our defense to stop Russell Wilson from making them runs and on the throw runs. If we can stop him from doing that, we have them. If we can get Xavier Rhodes and the rest of the guys to cover on defense, we have them sold up. We have a solid defense. You know, we're not worried about the running game because I haven't seen them run the ball as much. Their quarterback is their running back. So if we're not worried about the running back. All we have to do is finish hard on defense and come start the game hard on defense, and we have the game. Defense is a key to this game for the Minnesota Vikings.
I love it. Man, right before the look at that, the buzzer would have rang right there. So perfect timing, and I love it. Okay, so there it is. He spelled it out. So, Mr. Sammy, you are free to go ahead and defend your team, talk about what you think about his game plan in 30 seconds, and just kind of talk about, what you think about it. And if you want to, just go ahead and merge that right on into your game plan against the Vikings. I mean, you can do it however you want to. I'll give you like a minute and a half. So you go ahead and choose, but go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think it's a good thing to merge them here because for me, it's going to be offense that is the main game plan. While the Vikings, I do know they have a top 10 rush defense this year. Their passing defense has not been as good. So for my key for the Seahawks is get the receivers going. Put the ball in Russell Wilson's hand. I see the Vikings currently ranked 20th in the league. In the league in passing yards per game. They got some big names like Xavier Rhodes, but he has not been the same since they were in the NFC Championship back in 2017. So for me, it's get the receivers going and get Russell Wilson throwing the ball. I mean, the Seahawks are a run-first type of team, but this year, for the first time, they're starting to put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands and let him take over games. With a Vikings team that's 20th in the league in passing yards, you can get exposed when you have Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Josh Gordon all running routes out there. So for the Seahawks, it's establish the pass game because once the passing game is established and for the Seahawks, the rush game starts to open up. But I know it's going to be pretty difficult getting any good runs on this Minnesota defense. So I just say establish Russell Wilson, get the receivers going on a little bit of a weaker secondary for the Vikings, and I think the Seahawks will come out with the win if they do so. As always, it's going to be put in Russell Wilson's hands to win the game.
It's the truth, man. This guy is a human video game. I mean, he's like playing Madden, except for it's real life. So it's the truth, man. So, alrighty. With that said, Mr. Towns, you have 30 seconds, man. What do you think of his game plan? And, well, what do you think of his game plan?
I think his game plan is correct. You know, if they can get Russell Wilson to put the ball in his hand and open up the receivers out there with locking them, because our secondary is not playing up to par right now. You know, we are ranked 20, 21 in secondary, you know. So if Russell Wilson get that ball in his hand and he can move around in that pocket and make those throws downfield like he does every week, then, you know, Seattle do have a team that wins.
I agree, man. So, hey,
our secondary come out and play exactly right, it's going to be hard for Russell Wilson to throw that ball downfield off of our pass rush. But he's right. He's absolutely right about Russell Wilson.
Absolutely. Hey, I mentioned I am a USC guy, and once again, I'm a big Pete Carroll dude, but at the same exact time, I'm also an Everson Griffin dude. So I think Mr. Towns know a few things about that monster. So, hey, man, I just think it's awesome. You guys are going to have a great football game on Monday night. So here's what we're going to do, y'all. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Towns and Mr. Sammy. I mean, that was awesome. Gentlemen, shake virtual hands. That was awesome. Please, that was amazing. I am so excited. I'm so happy. We had this really good turnout. I know the times got a little wonky. My apologies, but you know what? That was a great job. And that will do it for tonight. So here's the last thing. We have here the voting poll. So to everybody who voted for today or on today's polls, on all of them, thank you so much for voting. Y'all have been awesome. It has been a great week. This is pretty much going to do it for the week here for 3 and Out. But man, it has been awesome. Thank you to everybody who voted. And here we go. So it is a little more lopsided than I thought it was going to be. I really thought this was going to be a lot closer. But you, the fans, well, y'all pick who y'all pick. And here it is. So with 75% of the votes, yes, I am not kidding, 75% of the votes, and we got a good amount this year, or this week, of voters. You, the listeners, are going with
Who are we going with?
the Seattle Seahawks to win this thing at home. Oh my goodness, 75% listeners? Are you serious? 75% of y'all, man, that is something. Well, first things first.
They step on us against the Cowboys.
With that said, real quick, Sammy, what are your thoughts on the listeners' pick, man?
I think they're right. I mean, it's in Seattle. I'm being honest. I'm a pretty honest Seahawks fan. If I think we're going to lose, I say we're going to lose. If this was in Minnesota on Monday night, I might have different thoughts. But I just think, man, it is so hard to lose this. It's really hard to beat Seattle on primetime, first of all, but in Seattle, it gives it a whole nother level. It's a really difficult task.
It is. And Mr. Towns, what do you think, man, about the listeners' pick?
Well, this is what I think. I think on Monday Night Football, they already picking us to lose. But this is how we win games, by getting picked to lose games. Everybody picks the other team, and we always show them different. No matter we at home or we on the road. It's a motivation. It's a motivation for us.
Hey, I love it. That's what it's all about, guys. So with that said, starting off once again with the away team, Mr. Towns, start us off, man. Give us a quick and dirty, but the floor is yours, guys. Mr. Towns, where can all these die-hard Vikings fans find you on Twitter? Any podcasts, any productions, anything you may do, man? Go ahead. The floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Gerard Towns on Twitter 7. So, just follow me on Twitter. I follow back, or you can look me up on Facebook at the same thing, and that's about it. I'm really just a big Viking fan, but don't underestimate us Monday night.
I love it, man. I'm with it. Sammy, where can all these diehard Seahawks fans find you on Twitter? And I saw you had a podcast. Everything you want to throw out there, man, let everybody know.
You can find You can find our Seattle podcast at Sant Seattle. That's SONT Seattle. You can find that on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you go. And you'll see my name on there, too. It's at Jour Sammy. I'm not going to spell that out. It's a tough one, but you'll see it on the header of all those social media accounts. And we got that podcast there. And we run our company, Sports on Tap, runs a couple other podcasts as well. But you'll find that all on our Twitter information. So just go check us out at Son Seattle if you're a big Seahawks fan.
Hey, make sure you go check those out, listeners. They are awesome. These two gentlemen, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Towns and Mr. Sammy Zadar. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for tonight. Appreciate you. God bless you both and your families, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. Thanksgiving be on tonight's show, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Thank you.
And my baby mama a big Seahawks fan, so you know how we rolling over here.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, she loves Russell Wilson, so hey, going down Monday.
That's what's up.
Love it.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
All right, y'all, that will be that. What a call, man. Those guys were awesome, man. Once again, big shout out to Mr. Towns and Mr. Jajor, or Mr. Sammy, that is. Awesome job, man. Those guys are legit. That was awesome. So, all right, y'all, that will do it. Okay, so I got 15 minutes. 15 minutes to get through my picks. And that's what we're going to do. So, without further ado, let's get through the picks. And, well, that will be that for the week. My gosh, I can't believe it. Man, it's a long week. I got a bunch of shows this week I had to get through. It feels like a bunch of shows, but it was just 3. We had, of course, the Defining Moment on Monday morning. We are on Tuesday morning, yesterday. Then we had today, 3 and Out College Edition. And then today, the Defining Moment yesterday, Thanksgiving, 3 and Out Thanksgiving Edition last night. Earlier today, we had 3 and Out College Edition, and today, another Thanksgiving edition, part 2 of 3 and Out. So, my gosh, it has been something. But big shout out to all y'all for staying tuned and for showing us love, man. I think Terrence back in the chat room. Just see here. Terrence says, another tough game to predict. 2 potential playoff NFC wildcard teams who are trying to keep pace in their respective divisions. I've got the Seahawks winning a close, high-scoring affair. This one could come down to who blinks first, or, in this case, which offense turns the ball over, including on downs. Kirk Cousins has played great as of late, but he gets a big test against the Seahawks, who are coming off of a scrappy win last week. I also expect the Seahawks to get Chris Carson back on track. He was somewhat non-existent last week. I say Seahawks 38-35. I say 38-35 Seahawks over Vikings. Wilson's probably going to carry the Seahawks to a last-minute victory. So great job there, Taryn. I'll agree with you on that one too, man. I mean, like I said, I got a lot to say about these games, so thank you very much for your input today, Mr. Taryn. And let's get into these picks real quick. So, alrighty, so overall for the entire week, yesterday we had a really good face-off, Bears-Lions. That was Miss Adina and Miss Wanda, and those two were absolutely awesome. Like, seriously, that was awesome. This is, like I said, the picks portion of our show. So, if you go ahead and tune in, pick along with me, show us some love. And it's always fun to talk some sports, of course, talking football with y'all. I love y'all, man. Y'all are awesome people. And I'm just so glad that I can be here on IE Sports Radio talking some picks. So pick along with me, y'all. This is how it's going to go. Go ahead and click that link. Pick along with me and let us know, of course, your picks for this week. I went and put that in our group. So everybody show us some love. Pick along and let's go ahead and have some picks if you're in the chat room. So, first game, Bears-Lions. Quick and dirty, guys. I'm not quite sure what's going on here with the Lions. I'm really bummed. I want to see Patricia do better. I want to see this team do better. Overall, I just don't see them doing better right now. I mean, Galladay is amazing. Okay, you have Johnson, who I think is still injured, which really sucks. Stafford's injured. It's been a rough year for these guys, and though it'll be a tough game on Thursday night, on Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon, depending on where you are in the country, I don't know if I can see the Lions pulling this off against a Bears team who really isn't that good. Their defense, I don't know what the hell happened to that defense. They're anything but solid right now. And it's a little kind of concerning. It's very concerning, as a matter of fact, of what's going on with this Bears defense. I honestly don't get it. I don't. The Bears offense, while Trubisky just hasn't been, the same as he was last year, the Bears haven't been the same as they were last year. The whole offense, none of them. This whole team has been the same as they were last year. So with that said, I don't think it's going to be that much of a extremely, I don't know if it's going to be a barn burner. But then again, it could be, because they're pretty evenly maxed. So I'm going to go final score 24-21. Bears win this thing on a last-minute field goal. Why? Because it's a rivalry game. They're both going to bring it. It's going to be a good game. Overall playoffs, I'm not quite sure about either of these teams going there, but let's just say the Bears win this one tomorrow. Or I'm going to say the Bears win this one tomorrow. So next up, we have the Bills taking on the Cowboys. That was a great matchup last night. Big ups to Miss D and to Mr. Texas. Great face-off they had. But overall, the Bills just have a little more of it. Whatever it is, they have it, okay? They have it. I feel like, what's that girl on the T movie? She's like, it's what they bring. Remember that? I love that movie. I could watch that. I used to watch that all the time a couple years back. But really, really true story there, though. The Cowboys, I don't know. I just felt like there's always that point in the Cowboys game where it's like the make or break, and it's always like they go with the break. I don't get it. Like they just don't have that factor. They seem to fall. They seem to not have that edge when it comes to just making things happen. I know last week the refs was kind of tough. I get it. Regardless, I'm just not, I don't know, I'm not excited for this team like how I was last year. Last year they were blowing the doors off everybody. This year I'm just not excited for the Cowboys like how I was last year. Now overall the Bills, they didn't take that excitement. However, Cole Beasley is a monster. I'm so excited for that. He's excited. I'm pretty sure he's excited to go back and play in front of these Dallas fans. And Allen's just getting better. This dude is actually getting his accuracy going on. I mean, he's looking good right now. The defense is actually looking pretty solid. So in this case, I don't want to sit here and make all the Cowboys fans mad, but I'm going to actually go with the Bills in this one, guys. I'm going to go final score 27-21. Bills find to win this one on the road. Next up, Saints and Falcons. The Saints are a tough, strong team. However, that tough, strong team got taken to a last-minute field goal by the Panthers last week. How good is this Panthers team? I don't think they're all that great, guys. So the Saints, is there a weakness there? Is there something going on with the team? I don't know, but I think they were a little bit vulnerable last week, and I think somebody needs the answer to that. Breeze, I mean, come on, dude. He's a good player, and he does a lot, but this defense also needs to do something as well. Davenport, make something happen. Come on, somebody make something happen. Call Vilma back. I'm just playing. Call Jonathan Vilma back. But I'm just playing. I just feel like right now, the Saints are a little bit vulnerable, and the Falcons are on one. The Falcons are coming. I mean, this team they seem to pull out victories when you don't think they will. They seem to play to everybody's level. I can still go back to that Week 2 game versus the Eagles where I thought that was just going to be this amazing matchup, and it was. After that, though, they just didn't look so hot. The Falcons have kind of fallen a little bit. They fell to the Buccaneers last week, which makes them not up and coming at the moment. They kind of dropped a little bit. Regardless, it's going to be a good fight. Jelani and Callum made this thing amazing last night. That primetime face-off was just another one for the record books. But I'm concerned right now at the Falcons defense. And if that's a concern, then you already know Drew Brees is licking his chops. And I mean, the humble guy that he is, I'm pretty sure he's not. But I'm just saying, football, from a football standpoint, I just really see the Saints coming away with this victory. It's going to be a close game. I don't see this being a blowout because the Falcons are going to defend their turf. They're going to fight hard. They're going to look to defend their turf. I think they're going to play a good football game. It's going to be a good one. I think like a 28-24 type of game, but I'm going Saints, guys. So that will be that for Thanksgiving. On to Sunday. Let's start with the 10 a.m. games, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. Jets at 4-7, Bengals at 0-11. The Bengals are pissed off and they're tired of losing. However, the Jets are a trip. The Jets are so crazy, man. Like, Sam Darnold's finally coming to his own. Le'Veon Bell, he plays a little bit here and there. He does his thing. The guy who I'm excited about is Robbie Anderson. This guy is awesome. He is really, really becoming a great, great receiver in the NFL. I'm loving what this guy brings to the table. So, it's really weird. Their defense, for some reason, can stop the run. Overall, the pass, they played pretty well last week. My Raiders are just terrible. So, they ate up every bit of our offense, and They look pretty good. I think they're on a 3-win streak, so they look pretty strong. The Bengals, it's like they're switching back and forth. They had Ryan Finley starting, and then they had Andy Dalton starting again. They got him starting again this week. I don't know if that's going to rejuvenate him enough to win this thing. Maybe it will. I don't know, but I'm going to go with the safe pick in this one. I'm going to say the Jets win this thing. It's going to be a close game. I got 31-24 final score here. Sorry, Bengals, but I do have the Jets taking flight in this victory. Next up, Titans at 6-5, Colts at 6-5. Mariota, I'm really so sad about this because I wish this guy was still starting. I wish he was still doing his thing, and I don't know what's going to happen to him. It's a contract year. It sucks. However, I can say one thing about the Titans, that they're, Derrick Henry is that spark that gets them going. Can he? Will he? I hope he gets something going for this team. This team was we were riding high. I know I was. I was like, you know what? This is going to be a very good team this year. They're exciting. But then it's like, come on, man. Like, I don't know what the hell, what's wrong with this team? Like I said, I got mad respect for Vrabel, man. Big time defensive dude. Great linebacker for the Patriots in his day. I'm just really frustrated with why this team can't seem to do much. And the Colts, dude, you have Marlon Mack, you guys have Jacoby Brissett. The defense is clicking right now. They are a good football team. And then there's this games where I just don't know how they freaking seem to lose them. Last week, I thought they had the Texans. If they were going to show anything, it was the Texans, okay? And they lost that game. Nothing against the Texans. They're a good football team. They have Deshaun Watson, which is amazing. But I'm just concerned right now with this team this year. Next year, I really think they're going to come out and be much better. But I just don't get it. This year is kind of weird. Like, they're up and they're down. They're all over the place. They're more up than they are down, but I don't know. So overall, I just can't pick the Titans in this game. I just can't. I got the Colts winning this game 35-21. Don't ask how I got that score. I just really think right now the Titans are just on a slope, and it's just kind of going. I'm sorry, but the Colts are at home. They're doing pretty okay. Nothing's too wrong with this team. They're a scrappy team. They're fighting. They just happened to drop one last week against a really good team in their division. So I'm going to go once again 35-21. Colts win this one at home. Next up, Eagles at 5-6 and Dolphins at 2-9. What in the world is going on with the Dolphins? It's like they are starting. Before they were just getting smacked by everybody, but they're starting to play to people's level. They're starting to get a little more better, but there's just nothing there that says we're a winning football team, of course. Now, this week, are they a winning football team? Let's be real. The Eagles are anything but impressive. Okay, well, they have proven this year that they are anything but impressive. Are they a playoff team? I really don't think so. However, can they beat the Dolphins? I think they can. The Dolphins right now are just a little awkward. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Actually, everybody's status right now is questionable for both these sides. There's some big names in there. Ertz is a big possibility. I don't know. He's questionable. Aguilar's, questionable. We have Jason Peters at questionable. I don't know. As for the Dolphins, there's a couple names here. Hearns is questionable. They're all questionable who are listed here, like I said. But really, overall, I don't really think it's going to matter much. The Dolphins are, they're getting better, but it's at a time in the season where it's just kind of no point. So, I don't think they're necessarily... I don't ever think any team is tanking ever just because it's a professional sport. But I know it's a business and things happen. You want certain players. But I really do feel like right now... the Dolphins are just... they'll fight, but it's I don't think it's going to be enough for a dub. I got the Eagles winning this game. Final score, 26-16. Next up here, Packers at 8-3, Giants at 2-9. This is just... the Packers got blown out of the water by the Niners last week. If they're not pissed off and irritated, then I don't know what will piss them off and irritate them more. As of right now, the Giants, they're coming, kind of, and then they're not. And they're coming, and they're kind of not. So I don't really believe at all the Giants are going to give the Packers any kind of a fight. I personally chalk this one up to like the Raiders. When the Raiders played the Packers, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I was enthusiastic before the game. I'm all for it, but I, didn't really think the Raiders were going to be able to pull that thing off. And it's kind of the same thing. So if the Packers win this game, it'll be because they were just the better team, and the Giants were the not-so-good team, or the team that wasn't as good. So, really, I just feel like this is a big type of deal for the Packers because they kind of need to get things going. They're doing good. They're 8-3. Are they enough to beat the Giants? I think they are, but if they lose, now there's going to be all kinds of question marks on here. What the heck is going on? I don't know. Are they still a playoff team? They'll still be in the playoff picture. I don't know, but that's what's going on at the moment. So, I got the Packers winning this game. Final score, I'm going to say 32-21. Weird score, but I think they'll pull it off. Next up, Browns 5-6, Steelers 6-5. The last time these two teams met, well, we all know what happened, and I'm not going to speak about that anymore. The retaliations, who knows? The fire in this game, it's a rivalry, and I guess added more to it. So, I don't know. It's going to be a great football game. The Browns are weird. The Browns are just the team that has so many good off-seasons the last couple of years. They have had great off-seasons. I've given them A+ in the off-seasons, and then they just continue to fall apart. I don't get it. I don't know. But the Steelers are a team where I have written them off like 3 times already this season, and they continue to freaking fight. So, as I've learned, you don't count the Steelers. They're a good, tough football team. They have plenty in the tank. But there's just something about this team that kind of just bothers me. I don't know. It's like they have the winning competitive sport, but sometimes they just don't seem to have the edge in the game. Or, sometimes they don't seem to have the edge in the game, and they still win it. Or they still make it a really close game. And then other games, I'm like, no, they're going to do really good. And then they're just not competitive. They still make it somewhat of a game, but they don't look like they can win it, and they don't win it. So, I don't know. Usually they're close, but the Steelers are just an awkward bunch this week. Or this year. Okay, so they have benched Kyle Rudolph, and we will have, Mason Rudolph, and looks like we will have this week, which was, a decision that I felt was, I thought this was going to be, I thought it was an okay decision. But this week, they will be starting, of course, Hodges, and he's a good player. Hey, I think he's got plenty, a lot to offer, and we'll see how that goes. So, I don't know if that was for his own safety. I hope the Steelers don't come out, the Browns are coming after him. I don't know. I don't know what that was over. Maybe it wasn't that good. The last time they had Hodges in the game last week and he looked pretty good, so maybe that's why they're starting him. I don't know. But what I do know is the Browns have this weird thing about them. Like I said, they just seem to not. I don't know. They're just awkward. That's all there is to it. I don't really think the Browns have a lot of. Okay, they're competitive. But it's just awkward because whenever they seem to have... They're like a lot of the Steelers. They kind of just blow it when it's like a big time for them or a big game or somewhere they can break out and be like, hey, that's the team we thought they were. It's like, no. Like, that's exactly who we thought they were. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's exactly who we thought they were, and that's in a bad way. So, I don't know. This is going to be a really fun game. Everyone's going to all eyes on it because of what happened a couple weeks ago. Regardless, all I gotta say in this game is you know what? The Browns pulled it off at home. I think the Steelers pull it off at home, guys. I know, don't get mad at me, Browns fans, but I think the Steelers will find a way to pull this thing off at home. It'll be a good close game. I got 17-14, defensive battle all day long, and I think the Steelers find a way to win it. Anyway, next up, I hung up on that a little too long there. Gotta go. Sorry, guys. Redskins at 2-9. Panthers at 5-6. Let's make this one short and sweet. The Redskins have shown so many great signs of getting better. Last week, these guys will, they'll fight a pretty good Lions team. They're somewhat slumping, but they, fought a decent Lions team, and they won 19-16. Not a bad day. Then, last week, we know that the Panthers pushed the Saints all the way to a field goal. If they play the way they did against the Saints, I seriously think they're going to come away with a victory, but they have to play like that to the T. If they can do that to the Saints offense, they can definitely do it to the Redskins offense, who have all kinds of trouble this year. That's why I'm going to go with the Panthers in this one. Final score 20-14. If the Panthers do anything less than what they did last week, the Redskins and Haskins might just come for them and pull out that victory, but I'm going to say Panthers win this thing. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4-7 and the Jacksonville Jaguars at 4-7. It is a Florida game who all Florida teams this year are just they're just off. But the Buccaneers are just a little bit more ahead, I think, than the Jaguars. Once again, we talked about the Minshew thing last week or yesterday. I just don't see. I don't know. It was weird. I'm a big fan of Foles. He's a great player. But, I don't know. They had a good thing going with Minshew. It seems like right when Foles came back, Minshew had a bad game. I don't know. Regardless, though, the Jaguars had some kind of success earlier this season, but it's kind of fizzled. And as for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jameis Winston, the guy throws it all, man. Like, he takes all the risks. Unfortunately, the old school saying, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. He takes big risks. Sometimes it's a huge play, and sometimes it's an interception. I think he leads I've heard that he leads the league in picks. Regardless, this guy is still a competitor. He makes things happen. He makes big plays. So regardless, it's going to be a good football game. I think the Buccaneers can win with the victory here. I'm going to go 38-28. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Neither of these defenses have proven to be that good, or to be, able to stop pretty much anybody. So I think, the offenses are going to go on this one, or the offenses are going to go on this one. But I think final score on that one should be pretty accurate, 38-28, somewhere around there. And I think the Buccaneers can win with the victory. Next up, the game that I think everybody's going to have their eyes focused on, the San Francisco 49ers at 10-1, and the Ravens at 9-2. Okay, let's talk about this really, really quick. I know I got a couple more games to get to before we're out of here, but I just got to say right now, the Ravens have Lamar Jackson, and this guy is just every bit of the threat that you think he is and know he is and whatever. This guy is something else. He's exciting to watch. He is absolutely incredible in open space. He'll take off and he'll get some yards. He will, or get plenty of yards. He has an amazing arm. This guy is every bit as advertised coming out of Louisville, and it's exciting to see him play. They got Hollywood, of course, Marquise Hollywood Brown. He's doing his thing. I mean, this team is just a good football team. They're very well rounded and they're strong. Next up, you have the San Francisco 49ers, who are just a juggernaut right now. This team, there's no other way to not say that they are. Kittle is on one. You have a very, very, very good quarterback right now in Garoppolo. This guy, you can't say he's not. I mean, the guy came, of course, he was under Brady, under Belichick. He is an amazing athlete. So it's really awkward to say, I think right now the Ravens are going to knock these guys off and blow them out. No, but it's also at the same time not fair to go over there and say, the Niners are going to go over there and do the same thing. This is going to be a very good game, guys. I don't think this is going to be anything shy of a field goal, and if it is, well, then it'll be a close touchdown at the end, but I don't think this game is above a 7-point victory, and if it is, it might be 10, but that's pushing it. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. I think they're going to wrestle each other. This is going to be a boxing match, guys. That's what I think. It's going to be a boxing match, not a wrestling match. They're going to get down. They're going to go at it. It's going to be ugly and dirty and nasty. I think it's going to be an equal amount of offense, equal amount of defense. And overall, I think there's one defense in this game that's going to come out and pull things off. And this is going to be, I don't know how some of you are going to take this. I don't even know how I'm going to take this because I can't believe I'm picking them. But I just, honestly, right now, I've seen enough out of this team this year to show or to say that they're going to kind of be my go-to pick when it comes to any games. Big games, doesn't matter. I mean, any game's a big game, but as of right now, guys, it's hard for me to pick against this team. Their defense is on one, and I think they have a little bit of an edge, and I'm going to go with the Niners. This is a tough one, guys. I know. I honestly think that defense is going to find a way to contain Lamar Jackson just a little bit more than they can, slow down Garoppolo in that offense. They have tons of weapons, and I just really think the Niners will be able to pull this thing off. I'm going to go final score 27-24. Niners find a way to pull this thing off. It's going to be a great game, but my gosh, I'm just looking forward to this game. It's going to be a good one. So next up, we have the Rams at 6-5 and the Cardinals at 3-7-1. This one doesn't need really any type of analysis. This is just a weird game because you have a team who was in the Super Bowl last year, and now they're like, I'm seriously debating on picking the Cardinals because the Cardinals are at home. Kyler Murray is just an up-and-coming guy. He is really tough. I think the Cardinals are going to go full blast on these guys, man. I'm still waiting for the really, really big game by Andy Isabella because I know it's coming. I hope it's coming this year. It might not be till next year. I don't know. But I really am debating on picking the Cardinals. I am so close on picking the Cardinals. I'm not. But I really think the Cardinals are going to give them a good fight. I'm going to go final score on this one, 24-21. Why? Because the Rams are good, but I don't know. Jared Goff has question marks all over him. That defense is suspect. And really, when it comes down to it, the Cardinals' defense is pretty much what might just be the deciding factor of giving up, the end of it. Terrell Suggs is the dude. I'm a big fan of Terrell Suggs. I think he can actually go out there and make some big plays. But when it comes down to it, the Rams are just, I don't know. I don't know. McVay is a great coach. They're a good team, but I'm just really, really cautious on picking this team right now. It's the Cardinals, I know, but don't sleep on this team. I got the Rams winning, like I said, 24-21, but I don't know. We'll keep it at that. Next up, we have the Chargers at 4-7 and the Broncos at 3-8. I don't even understand this game myself. What in the hell is going on with the Broncos? I mean, the Broncos, as my coach Coach Bronco said on Twitter, he's like, yeah, we're starting our seventh quarterback since, they won the Super Bowl. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. And then the Chargers at 4-7. I mean, the Chargers this year have been plagued with injuries. Phillip Rivers is just not himself. The offensive line, I don't know. The offensive line, I haven't watched too many Chargers games to know, but I just understand right now that the Chargers are in a tough spot. The Chargers don't necessarily have that big time playmaker. I understand, okay? I know their guy is Keenan Allen, and he's a good player, okay? Mike Williams, I expect a lot more of him this year, is what it is. Melvin Gordon, I know it's their guy. They have playmakers all around him. And, of course, as I always say, Phillip Rivers is one of my best quarterbacks. I will always pick him as one of the best quarterbacks of this era because the dude's amazing. He does so much. He does so much without a steady offensive line. He's done so much without a steady offensive line. But it's just really hard for me to pick this team and be serious about it because they're just I don't know. And as Taryn Rodriguez always tells me, the Broncos defense is, and I apologize a million times for saying that they're not that good because I was being a hater for the Broncos, but he's being a real fan, and so am I. Well, I'm trying to be against the Broncos, but 3-8 this year. Their defense has kept them in some games, but they just can't seem to pull it off. I personally think in this game, last week said a lot about the Broncos. They weren't able to do much against the Bills. I think overall the Chargers will do enough to win, because that defense of the Broncos will get tired. But personally, it could go either way. I'm going to say final score in this one. I'm going to say 23-13. Weird score, but the Chargers find a way to win it on the road. But don't be surprised, guys, if the Broncos win. I'm just being real. So Taryn says all my picks for this week. He's throwing his picks out. So all right, the Chicago, Dallas, New Orleans, Baltimore, New York, Jets, Indianapolis, Philadelphia, Green Bay, Cleveland, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, LA Rams, LA Chargers, Kansas City, New England, Seattle, San Fran. Baltimore was a tough pick. But, yeah, it really was, man. So, with that said, I think personally, man, good stuff this week, Taryn. But, yeah, I just think right now, when it comes down to the Chargers and Broncos, like I said, don't be surprised if the Broncos win. I won't. But I'm just going to go with the Chargers. I see they're favored by 2.5 points. Cool. But overall, I just really think that the Chargers are, they're a little bit better. Anyway, other than that, my Raiders and the Chiefs, this one doesn't really need a whole bunch of analysis either. Show up and play or get beat. That's all there is to it. The Raiders have I haven't really talked, but there's just been so much hype on this team this year. Not that they fed into it, but it's just kind of irritating to know this team is such a talented team on the offense, and the defense can't do anything to help out, or at least not a lot to help out. So I'm frustrated with this team. The Chiefs they look pretty healthy to me. I don't know if anybody's out. Let me look at it really quick. But this is a good football team, guys. Yeah, they have Damian Williams, who's questionable. We have Hunter Renfrow, who is out, which really sucks. Hudson's questionable. Joyner's questionable. Sharp is questionable. And Josh Jacobs is questionable. Wonderful. Well, let's just be realistic. If we lose any of those guys, or, the majority of those guys, the Chiefs are pretty healthy. They're going to hand our behinds to us. So I don't want to see that. Raiders, we need to come fight hard. I'm always going to pick my Raiders, okay? Even if I feel the Chiefs are a better team, and they may win it. I'm going to go with my Raiders winning this one, as I always do, 31-24. But I'll be honest with you guys. The Chiefs are absolutely strong. They're a tough team. The defense they could be better. But that offense is electric, and they're a tough team. So, me. I'm always going to go with my Raiders. I'm always biased. But when it comes down to it, the Chiefs, like I said, don't be surprised they destroy the Raiders. And I hate that, but it is what it is. So, next up here, we have the Patriots at 10-1 and the Texans at 7-4. I really think right now the Texans are they're a tough team, but it's just what was said earlier from Chris. They can't be afraid to freaking go for it. No more being conservative, Bill O'Brien. Patriots, they're coming. The Patriots, they know that this is it. Put up or shut up, and they know that they're they're, the best team out there. They know that. I mean, I know that. I don't care, Niners and Ravens fans, my apologies. But the Patriots, the champs, till they're knocked off. Okay, so they're a good, strong, tough team. I'm going with the Patriots in this game. Final score, I'm going to say 35-24. The Patriots defense, I know it's a lot of points for them to let up, but hey, don't forget, they have Deshaun Watson over there on the other side. He's going to get his licks. They're going to get their licks. Going to be a really good game, but like I said, overall, Patriots, I think, are just going to be a little too much. They're going to be overwhelming on the defensive side of the ball, and they'll find a way to contain the amazing talent that is Deshaun Watson. So, like I said, I'm going to go 35-21, but should be a pretty good game. Or 35-24, but should be a good game. And then we have the final game of Vikings and Seahawks. Vikings at 8-3, Seahawks at 9-2. Okay, this is odd. Okay, and I'm going to say this. The Vikings are not the team that they were 2 years ago, but they're certainly not the team they were last year. They're not the really, really tough, strong team they were in 2017, but they're definitely not the crappy team they were in 2018. They're somewhere in the middle. They're trying to find their identity. But then they're 8-3. My gosh, they're a playoff team. They're good. But the Seahawks are 9-2, and they're pretty good themselves. This will go the way of, once again, I like how both Mr. Towns and Mr. Sammy pointed this out. This is going to go the way of Russell Wilson and that defense. If the Vikings contain Russell Wilson and find a way to slow him down, they have a really good chance. If they find a way to get through that defense, that's an even better chance. Now, do I think it's easier to get through that defense than it is to contain Russell Wilson? Yes. Do I think the Vikings will get through that defense? Yes, because the Seahawks defense isn't that good. I've heard that, of course, from Mr. Sammy today, and I haven't heard that before from Mr. Brian McLaughlin, of course. So, who's been here on the show before, diehard Seahawks fan, and host of the Common Grounds podcast. You can check that out, of course. So you've heard the commercial on here. But overall, guys, I just don't really understand I don't see how you can contain Russell Wilson throughout the entire game. He's going to get his licks, and I think that's the reason why they're going to win this game. I'm going to go Seahawks winning this game. Final score, I'm going to say 42-30. No, 42-32. Interesting game. Interesting type of score. But I think, the Vikings are going to fight, and they're going to go hard, and they're going to get, it's a football game. It's a game, but I really think they're going to get their shots in there. They're going to get their licks. And the Seahawks are going to get their licks as well, and I just think the Seahawks are going to get more licks. That's all there is to it. I really think that's going to be that, and that's how that one goes. So, Terrence says, yes, don't be surprised if the Chargers lose the Broncos. Don't be surprised if the Chargers lose the Broncos. Another Chargers loss pretty much puts the nail in the coffin in regards to their playoff chances. If Rivers has another 2-game interception, I'm going to lose it. Which, I understand, dude. I'm frustrated, too, with Derek Carr. Actually, the offense isn't so bad, but I'm frustrated with that defense. So, I get you, man. And it's so tough because the Chargers had such a promising year last year. But anyway, with that said, we talked about that enough, and we are good to go. So that is it for today, guys. I'm going to go really quick over the playoff picture and just kind of give you my playoff picture standings. We went through the standings yesterday, I think. And if we didn't, I'll do that really quick. So in the AFC West, or courtesy of the ESPN Sports Center app here, we have in the AFC, we have the AFC West. Let's see here: Patriots at 10-1, Buffalo at 8-3, New York Jets at 4-7, and Miami at 2-9. In the AFC North, we have Baltimore at 9-2, Pittsburgh at 6-5, Cleveland at 5-6, and Cincinnati at 0-11. In the AFC South, we have let's see here: the AFC South, we have Houston at 7-4. Indianapolis at 6-5, Tennessee at 6-5, and Tennessee at 4. And Jacksonville at 4-7. And then we have in the AFC West, Kansas City at 7-4, Oakland at 6-5. We have the Chargers at 4-7, and we have the Denver Broncos at 3-8. In the NFC, we have the NFC East, Dallas at 6-5, Philadelphia at 5-6. The New York Giants at 2-9, and the Washington Redskins at 2-9 as well. In the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers at 8-3, the Minnesota Vikings at 8-3, the Chicago Bears at 5-6, and the Detroit Lions at 3-7-1. In the NFC South, we have New Orleans at 9-2, Carolina at 5-6, Tampa Bay at 4-7. Atlanta at 3 and 8. In the NFC West, we have the San Francisco 49ers at 10-1, the Seattle Seahawks at 9-2, the Los Angeles Rams at 6-5, and the Arizona Cardinals at 3-7-1. Overall, with the playoff pictures, once again, it's courtesy of the ESPN Sports Center app. Right now, it'll be the Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens, first and second seed, and then we have Houston, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. Right now, if Pittsburgh were to go to Houston, I will take Houston all day long, meaning that Houston will then go on to Baltimore and ultimately lose, in my opinion. And at that point, we have Buffalo taking on Kansas City. I have Kansas City winning that one, going to New England and losing. Right now, I still think I really think that the New England Patriots are. I can't even talk. The New England Patriots are waiting for that matchup to happen, and for the Baltimore Ravens to go to Gillette. I think the Patriots still win this thing, and they go on the Super Bowl 54. In the NFC, we have right now San Francisco and New Orleans up on top with the first, second seed, and then we have Green Bay, Dallas, Seattle, and Minnesota. I think Minnesota will go on to Green Bay, and really depending on what happens this week, but I think Green Bay will still be able to win that game and pull it off, meaning that Green Bay will automatically go to New Orleans. After that, we have Seattle taking on Dallas. I actually have Seattle defeating Dallas in that game and going on to Frisco to face the Niners. At that point in time, I really want to get Seattle the victory in that one, but I know I even said it yesterday. I think I had Seattle winning, but at that point in time, I think I have Frisco winning this game. So I have San Francisco defeating. Oh my gosh, let me try that again. I have San Francisco. Oh my gosh, I have San Francisco defeating Seattle. And I have Green Bay defeating. I have New Orleans defeating Green Bay, where New Orleans goes on to San Francisco, and I think San Francisco wins this thing, and they go on to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And as of right now, I still have the Patriots winning, but I don't know. So this thing changes like from one day to the next. So anyway, or at least my thoughts on this. So with that said, y'all, that will do it for tonight's show. A little bit over, but it's all right. Man, that was a good week. I mean, that was awesome. I want to say a big shout out and thank you, of course. All glory to the man above, to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. I'm so thankful for him and thankful for all my friends and my family and friends of this entire opportunity here at iSports Radio and all these great people that I'm surrounded with and all the listeners and just awesome people. I love you all. Thank you. It has been a great show and a great week. We got lots more to come tomorrow. That is it. No shows for tomorrow. That's it for the week so far. On Friday, stay tuned. We have Soccer Scoreboard Show with Mr. Marlon Pascal, as well as Fast Break with Mr. Phil Jones and Phil Robinson III. So we still got some shows coming your way this week. And then, hey, be ready. We are now available on SoundCloud. We'll be getting those shows uploaded pretty soon. And check us out and show us some love. So with that said, you know the drill. Cue the music. We're out of here. Alrighty, well, that will do it. I'm on my way to CBU, guys. I got to shower up real quick and get a little bit of dinner and head on over to Cal Baptist University. Why? Because we're taking on South Dakota tonight. University of South Dakota. Let's go, Lance up! I'm so excited for that, and it's going to be a good one. With that said, you can follow us all as a whole on Twitter at iSportsRadio, at iSportsRadio. Also on Instagram at iSportsRadio. Give us a like on Facebook. I really got to update that page. I'm thinking of just canning it, or just canning the rest of the stuff and starting over, but that'll be that. So, check us out on Facebook as well. Give us a like on Facebook. We'd certainly like that. And of course, it'll be like the revamped version, because it's too much to catch up, so I'll just start us off right there. For recently, that is. But with that said, check us out on Facebook. Also, check us out on iSportsRadio.com. I got to upload us there. I got to update the page and everything with the Hall of Fame and all the good stuff there. Check out, of course, the good old IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's right. Cast your votes. The Hall of Fame is going tomorrow during the Thanksgiving afternoon. We will have the final 8, and then after that, a week from Thursday, December 5th, we will have our very special episode of The Defining Moment, the Hall of Fame edition, where we go ahead and announce the Hall of Fame class of 2019, the second IE Sports Radio Fame class. That'll be, once again, the second IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame class. That'll be announced on Thursday, December 5th, during our special IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame edition of The Defining Moment. So, with that said, check us out there, cast your votes, and show us some love. That is it for me for the week, man. Oh, no more podcasts. I had 4 already this week, so that is that. It was a busy week, but that was fun. But anyway, I will see y'all then. Have a wonderful rest of your weeks. Have a wonderful, beautiful Thanksgiving. God bless you all and your families, and I will see y'all next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.